as I said, we have a quotes king here. Books can be written in any genre. It can be a poetry, it can be a novel, it could be just a curriculum based academic book. But quotes books are really very rare to see, I guess, and they are so amazing. And every day we need these quotes. And there's somebody here we have K S Ramanan ji. He's come from Bangalore. He's joined us from Bangalore. And I think whoever is here watching you, sir, I think everybody must have read your posts in the group. Sir has been connected with us, I think, more than 1.5 years now. And he's a featured author. He has written books. All the links of the books and everything you will be able to read about him on the website. So please go there, click on the links and buy the books and thank us through those clicks and buying of those books. I think all the authors need it. One more thing, whoever buys a book, I think everybody has that responsibility towards that author, whoever has put in so much of effort and time and energy to bring out that book, to reach out to you. Always write a review for us. Be it good, be it bad. You must always write a review, whichever book you have read. Could be a classic, could be any book of your friend, it could be a book of any other author whom you don't know. Always write a review. And we have, I think I'll just go ahead from saying said this. Yes, Ramanji, should I straight away go on with the questions? No. I want to hear something from you, sir, first of all. Welcome to the platform, welcome to the group, and thank you for taking out this time for us. And please share something about your journey as a writer. How did you start writing? I think you were from a corporate field and having, I think with a 9-to-5 job and a corporate job, it's not so easy to write, take out the time and write. Please share something about your writing journey for us.
Sure. So first of all, thank you for having me, and it's such a pleasure to be with Digamarji and Suchiji and of course yourself. It's great to be experiencing the feeling of a community. So as far as I'm concerned, I started writing when I was in school, and my writing, if people have read it, they see that it's all based on very simple observations in life. I always used to believe that look for the extraordinary in the ordinary. Because life is worth living. Everything you see, there's so much to be savored from life, extracted from life. The nectar of life. And so that's been my theme. So I've always written a lot about very, very simple stuff. And I've realized that simple is actually complex. To write about simple stuff is complex.
So true. It is.
And that used to be my challenge. How do I write about simple stuff, very simple observations of life, and something that everybody must be experiencing. And when they read the writing, they realize, "Arey, ye to mere saath hua hai, ye to parson hua tha mere saath," So that was really what used to, kind of keep me motivated. So right from school, I had this habit of keeping a small writing pad in my pocket. And I would keep jotting down thoughts while traveling in the bus or meeting with friends, talking to people. I'll just jot down points. And these points would really be ideas for me, for my writing. So I had this habit, and those days, we didn't have these smartphones on which you could make notes. It was always a spiral pad and and a pen.
I'm still with my pad and a pen. I cannot get over the writing.
Yeah, and it had become so much of a habit that it was a pad and a pen was always by next to my bed. And sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night, have an idea. I never wanted to lose a thought, because I always knew that once the thought has been captured, then it is up to me to, develop it whenever, I feel like, at leisure, And then when I sit down to write, I just flip through the notes, and then I say, oh, maybe I should write about this today. That's how I started writing. So a lot of writing, I have not even published, many, many years ago, because those days, there was no medium where one would publish. But then over a period of time, I used to write for my school magazine and, college magazine and, those kinds of things. And then once we went to corporate life offered these opportunities. I was part of the editorial of the magazine. And those days, the newspapers, I used to go to Hindustan Times in New Delhi and, wait at the editorials, sub-editor's office. I would hand over something to, what I had written, and there would be no response from their side because there was no internet, nothing, no response of that kind.
You will wait for
And
them.
every day after submitting the paper, every day you keep flipping through the newspaper whether you got it or not. So it used to be a game. It used to be a guessing game. So I've enjoyed all that. So writing has been I've been writing for quite some time, from school, college, and then all through my corporate life. Yeah.
That's, then how come the concept of writing quotes came in? When did that come in?
So, so people used to say, generally that I'm very good with one-liners. I have uh, I used to observe things, and I used to use humor and satire, and have a kind of an obtuse, way of looking at things. So people would generally say, you are very good at one-liners. In one line, you can explain quite a bit.
It's so difficult. It's like not so easy for everyone.
Yeah, and then I said, okay, let me. So one day I said, okay, let me write down, start writing, and I have a habit of setting up big goals. So I said, okay, let me start. That time I thought maybe 50 quotes, because 50 seemed big at that time. And then I started writing, and I realized that within 3 or 4 days I'd actually done 50. So I said, okay, let me make it 100.
Mm.
And then quickly, within a couple of months or 3 months, I'd already come to 100 quotes. So then it came to me that I said, let me write 366 quotes. I thought of 365, but then I thought some smart person will say, "Arey, wo leap year ka kya hoga phir?"
Ah.
So I said, let me cover that also.
When I realized 366, first I said 365 hona chahiye, it's every day. Then I realized, oh no, he's covered the leap year too.
Yeah. मैंने कहा कोई ना कोई जरूर पूछेगा कि ये वो leap year को क्यों छोड़ दिया आपने?
Oh,
So let me have that covered also. So 366 quotes. And as you start writing, and it's I think it's common for all writers that when you start writing and you almost get energy from your own writing, and then that propels you forward, and you feel the power of writing, and you start enjoying the journey. So the good part is I was never worried about the destination. I was enjoying the journey, and that, in my opinion, that is the best form of living life. Don't worry about the destination. Just enjoy your life, enjoy the journey, because journey is more. You spend more time in the journey than reaching the destination in life, generally speaking.
absolutely, absolutely.
So that's been the genesis for the book of quotes that I wrote.
So, as you said, you've been writing for so long. Any books which you read and which inspired you to write, or which inspired you to read more? Any special books which you have any affinity towards, any genre of books?
So the kind of writing I do, which these are known as personal essays. So I'm a great fan of Ruskin Bond and R.K. Narayan.
Awesome.
So I consider these to be institutions. So I read them, and I reread them. It's almost like every time I read it, I'm trying to see how simply, just with the magic of words, something has been explained to a point that you can almost watch it like a film.
Yes.
And that is the power of words and the simplicity of words. So that's been my, of course I read a lot, but then, I've always focused more on, now progressively I'm writing more of the kind that I would like to, I'm reading more of the kind that I would like to write. So I read a lot of Ruskin Bond, a lot of R.K. Narayan,
Yeah. Even Sudha Murthy's books are like that. They're
Yeah,
so simple.
absolutely.
And I love about your writing is that it's so simple language that anybody, whoever is reading it, will relate to it, and it will just flow through. The whole essence is just flow through. And I think Sonia has always mentioned it also, that we all really love the writings which you have been posting. So keep writing and keep posting. Really, really glad to have you around. So as I said, we generally, some writers do have, I did ask this question to Digambarji also. Do you have a specific place where you sit down and write? As you said, you have this writing diary, which you later on develop the writings. So when does that happen, and what any specific time during the day which you have dedicated to writing? How do you manage the timing? Because you're working full time, and after working full time with a corporate job, how do you manage the timing?
So I think the what I've realized for myself, what works for me is that, once I've captured the thought,
Mm.
earlier on the spiral pad, now on the phone, the advantage is that you have the material,
Mm.
because it's actually a trigger, something that I may have written about, some observation I may have seen, even a COVID situation, I would have seen something, I would have, something would have registered, and I would have just written on my phone. So as a pointer, it's a matter of then finding time to write. And because you love writing so much, you find time.
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know and my favorite place is my balcony of my house.
Awesome.
So I'm always sitting there, and I normally there's a joke around in the family that I have a balcony which has an attached house. So
That's
I
good.
spend more time in the balcony than inside the house, you know and I find that it is a and writing is also a very harmless hobby. घर पे आप किसी को परेशान नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप आराम से बैठे हैं, आप अपना लिख रहे हैं, और
शांति से एक
लोग
कोने
आपसे
में
बहुत
करके बैठे रहते हैं।
लोग आपसे बहुत खुश हैं। आप किसी को तंग नहीं कर रहे हैं।
That's amazing.
तो मैं balcony में बैठता हूँ और लिखता हूँ, और खूब लिखता हूँ. And then, then it's about fashioning it, refashioning it, making sure that you get it right, because you have an idea what you want to convey then. And then you're comparing what you've written with the idea that you had. And then, you make sure that, it is full fidelity. You write exactly, it's completely faithful to what you have in your mind. So that I do a lot of reading, and then snip words, cut, and make changes. But the balcony happens to be my most, I write, I'm most prolific when I'm sitting in the balcony.
Awesome. We would like to have a look at the balcony one day.
Absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll arrange a UBI tour.
Yes, we will. I think we should do this. We can have a UBI tour of all the spaces of all the writers, wherever they write. So maybe someone's desk, someone's balcony, someone's bedroom, someone's
Sure, sure.
study room. That would be amazing, except let's see, we'll try. I think Kavya, are you listening? We can think of something. All right. So so do you think, I mean, I think you're still working, right? You're not yet retired. Do you think you would like to make writing as a career once post your retirement? Do you think you would like to make it as a full-time career? Ever did you think like that?
I think I'm going in that direction. See, career. I don't know, from an income standpoint, I'm not sure whether you can really make it a career, because that's a different thing. But in terms of dedicating time and effort and focus, I would certainly transition towards writing, full time. And because I've had a corporate experience, I also write a lot about careers. If you look at my website has a lot of. So basically, my website has two elements to it. One is my travel writing. So it's basically sites and insights. Sites is all my travel writing. I do a lot of travel writing, and insights is all my life lessons.
Yes.
So life lessons comes from because I'm also a coach. I do a lot of coaching for people on leadership, on a lot of other things. I write about careers. I write about people struggling in their careers or opportunities. How do you leverage opportunities? So it has a lot of corporate bent in that. And then I also write about I'm a food writer as well. So I'm sure you you know
We over here, when we read those blogs, so those food blogs, oh my God, one has to make something after reading it. One has to eat something after reading it. I remember there was something about the thali, the South
yeah.
Indian platter, and that was like mind-boggling. And I was like drooling over here reading it.
Yeah. So I'm also guilty of messing up people's lives. I'm
So
also guilty of messing up people's lives, because a lot of people have written to me that the wives have written that the husbands are putting demands, special demand, that aaj ka menu change karo aap. So I'm also kind of guilty for making messing up people's lives. But then, so that's the food writing that I write, and then I write a lot about general observations of life. So simple stuff. I could just write about a morning walk.
oh,
Uh,
yes,
we have a
we
lake
got
that's
it
developed
done.
around our house. Just walking around the lake, just observing what people would normally observe, and a lot of people have told me that, these are the things we also observe, but we've never written about it.
Yeah.
So my way of looking at it is that, can we start focusing on every single moment of life? Because that is what is very important, especially in today's world, when everywhere you look at only, negativity, and, you look at so much of pessimism all around. It is
True.
important for us to savor every moment of magic that life offers.
Mm.
So in some form, I'm also helping people to realize that, life is happening today, as of now. It's not someday later. As of now, abhi zindagi abhi nikal rahi hai, matlab ki, So why not take the best out of life? So that's how.
So true. All right. So I'll take a question here. We
Sure.
have Namrata asking a question. Sir, is there any parameter or any style for writing quotes? As personally, she writes quotes. Actually, I've seen her writing. She also tries to write quotes. So to give words to her thoughts, she wants to basically understand, is there any meter that you follow or any guidance for writing quotations?
Um, I don't know whether you can call it a guideline, but basically, if you look at my, it is a reflection of my overall writing, which is my life lessons. So I've been focusing on life lessons, which means how do you pick lessons from life? So right now, as I'm speaking to you, I've got this quote in front of me, which says that, remember that even if one person's world is inspired by your story, you are an inspiration.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying that, things such as, you don't have to be a big person who inspires millions of people to be an inspiration. Sometimes just the very act of your doing something or not doing something, or the way you approach a certain thing, you inspire somebody, you become an inspiration. So it's all a reflection of your thoughts. And I would say, with quotes, you have to be very brevity, which means more with less. You to be able to convey more with less number of words. So those are the kinds of things that I'm, but I'm happy to support Namita. If she wants to reach out to me, I'm more than happy to support her
Thank you so much, sir.
in any form.
Because there are few people I've seen, they have been writing regularly quotations and they're like writing quotes. Because if you know, we have this fortnightly contest which we run.
Yeah,
Every first and every 16th, we declare the topic. Today's topic will be declared after this session. So stay tuned, everyone. Wait for the topics. So there we have categories. We have a category for Hindi में उसको उद्धरण बोलते हैं, English में quotes. So we have for short stories, poetry, and all. So wherein the winners are chosen by jury, and the winning entries go onto the website. They are given space on the website, and they'll honored over there. So that's something which we keep doing, and that's where I see there are lots of people interested in writing quotes. So probably if you have anything which we can do for the writers who are interested in writing quotes, that would be
absolutely,
great.
absolutely. Happy to support anybody. Yeah,
And when you said R.K. Narayanan, we have in our UBI, we have an author called, by her name is Kalpana Swami and Bobby Singh. They both have written articles on actually the book is called The Guide. R.K. Narayanan's
yeah,
it's based on his story, and that book basically is based on the this movie called Guide, and the
yeah.
music compositions of that particular book. So I really want to congratulate these two authors here, and I want to mention them here that they both are around for in our UBI community, and congratulations to these two authors, co-authors of the book The Guide, and about them as well. If you want to read about the book, the website is there. So everything is there right there,
Everything is on the website. Yeah,
www.unitedbyink.org. So don't forget to log on there and click on the books as well and go through it. Read them. You can have a look at what the books are saying. If you are comfortable, if you want to buy, go ahead and buy them. Honor a writer's work, honor an author's work by purchasing a book. If you can, gift it to somebody. Diwali season is on. We are searching for gifts. What to gift? What to gift? You can gift a book, man. Come on. For your mom's birthday, you can gift a book by Digambar ji. Ma ek ko sametne ki koshish. For quotations, there is a book. We have so many books out there. So thank you so much, Ramanji. I would like to ask you something in the end. Any guidance or any suggestion for newcomers and the writers which are coming in? Because as I see today, the writing industry has changed over a period of time. I think you will agree with me. If you can guide us or all the new upcoming writers, how does one think of writing? Because not everybody becomes a novelist or a, short story writer or a poet, but there are people who can write. Like for your genre, it's amazing that those essays, if they're compiled and they're shared with people, I'm sure everybody will be interested in reading them because it will relate to the general public. Anything which you would like to share from your side for the new writers, upcoming writers? As I know you are also
Uh,
a coach, and I mean, I have been reading so much about your biography also and your uh, about you. I want to really mention here he's an independent learning and development consultant and a facilitator. He's a coach and he has over 35 years of work experience in corporate and social sector. And I guess you have also been in global leadership positions for companies. So with such a tremendous knowledge, big treasure box which we have, we really want to know some things from you and we want your guidance on this, sir.
so of course there are many bigger writers than me in this the forum. But I would just add my own my own ideas. One thing I've realized is that you are an original. You know, never compare yourself with somebody else. Especially if you're writing, it is your creative pursuit, and it's all happening here, and it's original. It's your own. So in fact, somewhere down the line, people do ask you, why don't you write like this person and that person? And I often, I feel amused when somebody says, why don't you write like that person? How can you really write like somebody else? Can you, I mean, you open that person's book and start writing. How does that work? So there's this thing about, wanting to be somebody else. And I'm saying you should be very comfortable in who you are. You express yourself. And of course, Digambaji and Shujiji also mentioned that, you have to read a lot to be able to write, because the vocabulary is very important, because many times, you are constrained by, you have an expression, especially because I'm basically from Kerala. I may be thinking in a language, but then I'm writing in English. So, you have that kind of lost in translation. So you have to be very good at your language to be able to convey what you're thinking, to be able to write. And that requires a lot of reading. So you read better, you write better. So that's very clear. Discipline, very important. Discipline means you keep writing. Don't worry about how it's turning out to be. Don't worry about it, because one thing I've realized is that the connection from your head to your hand, this remains clogged if you don't write. The moment you keep writing every day, this pipeline opens up. And when the pipeline opens up, you realize that, what you think, you're able to put it in the right expression. And the more you write, the more the pipeline opens. And you will realize a time when the way you think and the way you write, they are so much in congruence. In my opinion, that is the best part of writing. That's a reward in itself. Whether somebody reads it, appreciates it, doesn't really matter. But the fact that you thought something and you were able to write it, and it came out exactly the way you thought, I think that is the best reward a writer can ever get. And that requires a lot of discipline, and not worry about how your writing is judged by people. Doesn't matter. First thing, I write for myself. I said it's a harmless hobby. You write for yourself. You generate energy and positivity for yourself. That's the best thing. And then if somebody likes it, that's a bonus.
Yeah,
So if you get into this, then life is bliss. You keep writing as much as you want, and you're not really worried about what people think, because it really doesn't matter. It's an original work of art in some form, and then you just release it into the world, and let the world take over. It doesn't matter. And then and the way I do it is that I release it into the universe, and then I'm on to my next piece of writing. Not really worried about how it will be judged.
Yeah.
तो उसका अलग मजा है, उसका अलग मजा है. You're not really worried about लोग क्या कहेंगे,
बिल्कुल
अच्छा
बिल्कुल.
लगेगा नहीं लगेगा. अब
लोगों के लिए नहीं लिखे हैं, अपने लिए लिखेंगे.
आप अपने लिए लिखिए आप.
Write for
मजे
yourself,
मजे
don't
करिए,
write for
मजे
others.
करिए. You just enjoy your life.
Don't look out for acknowledgement from anybody. Just write and just write. That's it.
Anything you get is a bonus, but don't write for that external validation. And then you realize life is bliss.
I guess the question is there for you, sir, or I think we can all of us, whatever, I think the committee is also around. And we have with us Pradeep Chabraji also has joined in. Welcome, sir. Welcome on board. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
We have Ramanan sir right now with us. Digambar sir is there. Shuchi is also there, but her camera is off. Welcome to the group. And I'll take the question for you, Ramanan sir, first. Uh, there is a gentleman called Srinivasan Ramaswamy, and he is asking a question to all the authors. With English being used in most aspects in life, what is the future of Indian languages? Can any writers help in any way? What would you like to say first?
So as far as I'm concerned, I think every language has got its own magic.
Yes.
And uh, many a time the soul of what you're really wanting to communicate comes only through the native language. And in fact, to be honest with you, sometimes I miss writing in vernacular language. But because I'm not so good at it, at least I'm good at it in the sense, but I'm not so good to be a writer in it. So I choose English because that's been my, that's what I've been doing. But I really feel that there's so much I can convey in vernacular language, and there is a lot of future. And I believe that, the language is the connection to the culture.
True.
So we must preserve and we must propagate and we must promote all languages.
Absolutely.
And we must enjoy everything. It's like a bunch of flowers, not really a bunch of identical roses. Yes. It's a bunch of flowers. Each flower brings its own fragrance and essence to our life. So if it's Hindi or Tamil or Malayalam or Gujarati or something, each one brings its own fragrance into the bouquet. And what best than to hold a bouquet of flowers which has all varieties. So I think that is how I look at
UBI is really, in true sense, is a bouquet of flowers, because we have writers over here who have been writing in various languages. In fact, we have international writers who write in their own language. There are Serbian writers. There's a lady from Thailand who writes. It's all translated in English. Later on, we can read it. But then, yeah, other than vernacular language, even international languages, I think it's all other languages other than English. They all need to identify their space and promote their work and come out. For us Hindi writers, I'm a Hindi poet and I write in Hindi mainly. I do write in English as well, but obviously Hindi is my mother tongue. I relate to it more probably. Digambarji is there. He writes in Hindi.
Yeah.
But I think it's the honest, for me personally, I feel the honest lies on us writers, that we keep on writing instead of letting it go. So if we keep on writing, there will be people who will keep on reading. Obviously, at the end of the day, if you don't write, there will be nobody who will read you. So you first keep writing in your own language. So, Sir Ramanan, I think I missed out the name. What was the gentleman's name? I missed out his name right now. But yeah, for the gentleman who has asked this question, my personal opinion, if you ask me as an author, I would only say that yes, we all authors have to keep on writing in our own languages as well. You can write in English. It's a beautiful language because it connects across the globe. It connects with everybody. But at the same time, your own language has so much beauty and you can write in your own language beautifully. So don't let it die as well. For that, in fact, we are planning to come up with something. This question, when it's asked, I want to share on this platform. There's something called learning labs which we want to come up with to teach language. Last time when I went live, there was a request which was made by Alka Tiwari. So we are soon going to come up with a program wherein we would want to teach students living abroad, because vernacular languages, if the student is not staying in India, the person doesn't have the ability to reach out to a teacher and they don't have connectivity to a teacher who will be able to teach them their own language. So we are trying to bring in a pool of teachers, wherein if you are a vernac teacher, anybody who teaches in Hindi, who teaches in any other language, Marathi, Gujarati, Punjabi, South Indian languages, there's so many of them, Tamil, Malayali, reach out to us, and we really want to come up with a small platform for teachers who can connect with the students abroad. इंडिया में आपको मिल जाएंगे टीचर्स आपकी खुद की लैंग्वेज के लिए, बट बाहर नहीं मिलते, तो कोशिश कर रहे हैं, अगर ईश्वर की इच्छा हुई तो बहुत जल्दी उसको भी we will that will see the sunlight.
Yeah, that's a great initiative. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Ramanji, and it was a pleasure talking to you, and we look forward to your guidance while writing quotations anywhere and writing all these simple stories and so beautifully writing them always.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Keep
Thank you so much.
sharing and stay connected.
Thank you. Sure. Sure.
I would like to invite Pradeep Chhabra ji now on board. Hello, sir.